A few hours had passed, and she was still not ready to leave the room. Everything remained quiet, so she figured that the young man was still asleep. Then suddenly, there was a knock on the bedroom door, and she became apprehensive and said nothing. "Hey, are you all right?" the young man asked. She didn't respond. Then things became quiet again. She sighed before she laid down on the bed. She didn't notice that the young man had opened the door and stepped into the room. She closed her eyes for a moment, and when she opened them back up, she found him standing right at the bedside. "Oh, I didn't hear you come in," she said. "I apologize. I wasn't meaning to intrude or be rude. You didn't answer when I knocked and asked you if you were all right, so I decided to see if you were okay," the young man said. "Yes, I'm fine," she said. "Are you sure?" the young man asked. She just nodded. The young man sighed, and then he was about to leave the room, but then he stopped, and then he turned and looked at her. "There's something that I need to say to you," the young man said. At that moment, tension rose inside her because she thought for sure that he was about to confront her about the kiss. "I want to apologize to you for the way I acted earlier," the young man said. "It's not necessary," she said. "Yes, it is. I'm sorry," the young man said. "It's fine. All is forgiven," she said. The young man was about to leave the room. She let out a sigh of relief because she thought for sure that he would confront her about what she did, but he didn't. When he approached the doorway, he stopped, and then he looked at her for a moment. He was about to leave the room, but then he turned around and made his way back to the bed. The two of them looked at one another nervously. "Is everything all right?" she asked. The young man didn't respond. He stood there quietly for a moment as he kept his eyes on her, and then he sat down on the bed beside her. "Look, I think there's something that we need to talk about, and I have a feeling that you know what it's about," the young man said. "Yes, I think so," she said. "I know what you did. The thing is, we've already been through this. I already told you that it's not a good idea," the young man said. "What if I don't see it the way you see it?" she said. "Listen to me. I'm not a good person. I don't deserve to be loved," the young man said. "You can't be that bad. You're helping me," she said. "You don't understand," the young man said. His eyes filled with tears as he looked into her eyes. "I keep trying to fix things, but I just can't. I can never fix what I messed up," the young man said. "What happened?" she asked. "I can't talk about it," the young man said. "Whatever it is, we can figure it out," she said. "No, we can't, and I don't think that you should get attached to me, but unfortunately, I know that you have," the young man said. "What about you?" she asked. The young man didn't respond. "I get the impression that you want to punish yourself," she said. "You don't want to get mixed up with me. I'm a broken human being, and it would probably be a life of misery for you," the young man said. "No, to be without you would be misery," she said. Then she took hold of his hand as she looked into his eyes. "Whatever it is that you are dealing with, you don't have to face it alone. We can face it together," she said. At that moment, the young man broke down and cried, and she hugged him tightly. "I don't know why you insist on being with me. He'll either destroy you or make you miserable," the young man said. "Then maybe it's time for you to break all ties with him," she said. "It's not that easy. He's relentless and he won't stop. I don't know what's wrong with him or why he's doing the things he's doing. Perhaps it was all the things that happened in the past. I don't know, but most of my life has been miserable," the young man said. "It's all the more reason to get away from him," she said. "No, it's all the more reason to stop him. I don't want him to torment anyone else. Even before I messed up, he treated me badly. He'd blame me for everything, even if it wasn't my fault. He also used to lock me in my room, and he isolated me from the rest of the family. I lived the life of a prisoner, and I don't understand why. So many times, I asked what I had done wrong, but he never had an answer. The young man said. "I'm sorry," she said. "I don't want you to live the kind of life that I've lived. What if I end up like him?" The young man said. "I don't think that you will. It seems to me like you want to fix your mistakes while he just wants to make things worse," she said. "But I can't fix it, no matter how badly I want to, but I can stop him," the young man said. "I don't want you to do it alone. He's dangerous," she said. "Which is why I don't want you near him. I fear that he might kill you," the young man said. "But he might kill you," she said. The young man sighed. "If only we could find the evidence that could put him away," she said. "I'm working on it, but for now my main focus is protecting you," the young man said. "When and if this nightmare ever ends, I'd really like for you to stay with me. It could be a new beginning for both of us. I realize that at the moment you don't want to get involved with anyone, but I hope that you could at least think about it. Don't ever ask me to just forget about you, because I won't. I can't, nor do I want to. And I'm hoping that I won't have to go on with the rest of my life missing you, because I will," she said. "I won't forget you either. It is too bad that we couldn't have met under better circumstances, though I'm not sure whether it would change my current feelings," the young man said. "What exactly are your feelings?" she asked. "I think you know where I stand. I've made it clear," the young man said. "Yes, you push me away because of the situation that we're in, and because you want to punish yourself. What are your true feelings?" she said. The young man said nothing as he looked into her eyes. "Why can't you answer me?" she asked. "I think it's too soon," the young man said. "Do you? Or are you trying to run from how you truly feel?" she asked. "I'm not ready for this," the young man said. "Can you look me in the eyes and tell me that?" she asked. He said nothing as he looked away. "You don't have to keep doing this. You don't have to keep torturing yourself. You don't have to be alone and miserable," she said. "It's what I deserve," the young man said. "No, you are a good person. I can tell," she said. "No, I'm not," the young man said. He then got up, and he looked at her with a sorrowful expression on his face. He was about to walk away when she got up and took hold of his hand. "No, I'm not going to just let you walk away," she said. The young man said nothing to her as they looked into each other's eyes. Then she closed her eyes and kissed him. "I'm sorry. I can't do this. I just can't," the young man said. Then he turned and walked away.